to be a part of it. New York, New York, these vagabonds.
Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome to Polar Currency Talking Money number 4, Big Apple's Nationals. This video certainly is going to vary a bit from the normal Talking Money format. Big Apple and I will be talking about his national banknotes along with, now don't be surprised here, some short videos that have large size nationals and, history, particularly the third charter notes. If you haven't checked out Big Apple's channel, you are missing out on some great currency conversation. His passion is contagious, and his channel, well, it's just fun. Not to mention, he's got a great group that he hangs out with, and they all talk currency and make fun of each other. For about the past year, Big Apple has been putting together a pretty unique collection of national banknotes that are all from the same New York City. Certainly, this has been done before, but it caught my attention because of one very specific reason. That's really cool for any of us collectors. Well, we'll get to that later. All right, let's get to the Big Apple himself. Well, I know that was kind of the big introduction, but it is absolutely my honor to introduce my friend. I can call him that. We've been talking, we talk like 13-year-old girls. Love talking to Big Apple, but this is Big Apple from Big Apple Stacker YouTube channel. And if you haven't, again, I'm going to say it, if you haven't seen him, you need to. Hello, Big Apple. How are you?
What's going on, Dan? How you doing? How are you?
Good. This is kind of a video long time in the making thing.
Yes, yeah. I know that you've been pulling me to do a currency video, and
Well, it's not very often that you get coin guys, and I know we've done another talking money video with you and Dean on it, but
I know.
I had to.
You gotta love Dean.
I know. I hate that I love Dean. That's the problem. You gotta. I had to. You started throwing out some notes on your channel, and I had to dig a little bit deeper on this because it just caught my interest. It caught my attention.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to that a little bit later. But so Big Apple, how and when did you really start collecting currency? And I know you're a big Morgan guy, but how long you been collecting coins slash Morgans?
Okay. Well, I've always collected coins, but I started really collecting currency. Probably, I would say maybe 2014 is when no, sorry, yeah, 2014, 15. I started collecting a lot of the smaller notes, silver certificates.
Yeah.
I thought they were big deals, Silver
Well, they are a big deal when you first
Yeah,
discovering currency.
yeah, they are actually. I should take that away from the small notes, actually.
No, and you're not. I know you don't because you have them in your collection. So
Correct, I
know
do.
you don't.
I do have them, but when I meant like the circulated ones, the ones
Yeah.
that are like almost you get them for like $3, right?
Sure.
Not something that's uncirculated, which I do have some really nice circulated silver certificates even to today right now. But yeah, I started to collect a couple of them back then. I mean, if you go back to my old videos, I've had them back then.
Sure.
They were just random $1 and a couple of other $5, I found one. But yeah, I started slowly so I started to get to the bigger notes.
So what was the first note? I mean, and I'm assuming it's a large size. It is with a lot of us. What was the first note that caught your attention? You're like, dang, this is cool.
It was actually the silver certificate and the Black Eagle, right?
Okay.
Those were the main two, especially the Black Eagle. I mean, who doesn't love the Eagle on the note itself? Or you got, Lincoln and Grant, and they're both. So it's like, who doesn't, and especially that I had silver certificates, and I'm like, wow, okay, silver certificates.
Well, and I think it's kind of cool that you're collecting, especially that 1899 silver certificates along the 1880s, 1890s that match up with the Morgans that were made at that same time. I mean, basically they were a Morgan or a silver certificate, interchangeable. So so I will say this. I mean, we're all at different levels of collecting. And I have friends at all different levels. I'm at the bottom of that scale of at least far as grading. Big Apple is up a couple notches, and that's okay. He still talks to me, but he looks down on me, and I get it. Um, but seriously, he's got a fantastic collection. So, where does your passion, and I'm trying to combine this, is that you spend some money, and where does your passion come from with currency? I mean, what is it? What is it that's kind of transitioned you from Morgan's?
Dan, I'm going to tell you, it's the passion is just one is the history, right? Let's understand that what these notes were about and how the government was taking the coins and everything else and giving us paper money, right?
Hmm.
It's understandable. But I mean, the paper money is like just it's a wow factor. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but every single time I'm always looking for the next rare note. I mean, I tell you, it's like, I mean, how much, like, I've had conversation with you, how much bullion can you really carry?
Well, right, and nothing against Morgans or peace
Yeah,
dollars or, I mean, but they pretty much are the same for a long period of time, and they are
yeah,
beautiful coins. And I probably wouldn't be doing this talking to anybody right now about this because if it wasn't for Morgans, because that set off the whole numismatic collecting industry, I think. But the banknotes, yeah, I mean, I get it. I fell for the banknotes myself. It's the artwork, it's the history, it's the changes and times, and basically when there are new banknotes, pretty much there was something going on that wasn't good at the time when
right.
these really interesting banknotes come on. And so for historically, they interest me greatly. Why were they created? And then combine that story in our history with how beautiful they are. I mean, you picked up the gold certificate, those 19, the 05 sevens, they're just staggering. 1913 for the 50. They're just they're one of my favorite series because they're just so unusual and they're so cool. Um, but yeah, I mean, folks, when you watch, I mean, one thing I can say about Big Apple when I'm watching his videos is that he brings back notes, and I'm not saying, oh, you're rehashing it. It's not just a purchase. It's not just buy it now and put it away forever. And I guess that's what I appreciate is that I see notes that I've seen before as well as when you get a new one, you are excited. You open up that package. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun to watch. It's just a fun channel to watch, and they're great notes.
Guys, anyone's watching this channel, collect it. It's well worth it. Again, but I like collecting a lot of the notes because I like to see a lot of the details. I like to read a lot of the things that what we can't see. For instance, the educational note, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Constitutional that's on it, right? I mean, if we have a note that's graded, and or maybe if it's not graded, but if it would have been like a 10, it's different than when you're looking at a 30. I like to look at the eye appeal, the actual note, so you can actually just look at everything on that note. And the eye appeal to me is a very important thing, you know.
yeah. I mean, it is. We were talking about this morning before we started this, is that the grades, grades and eye appeal are two different things. Value affects
Right.
eye appeal affects the value, but it can have two different grades. I
I,
know that your collection, you're going for 30s. That's what you're trying, and I'm saying by the time you're all said and done, I'll be long dead at that point. Um, I bet your currency collection averages a 30. I mean, you got some really nice notes, but also Big Apple's putting his big boy pants on and starting to buy some big stuff, which is awesome.
right.
And it's something that, for me as a collector, I guess I enjoy my friend being able to get those notes because I won't. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I might, murder him later on, but we won't talk about that. And he is Big Apple, so he is a little scary and from that aspect.
Uh,
So am I wrong in assuming that that's you're going for 30s? That's what you
Yeah,
try
I
to
I
go for.
like to correct. I like to try to stay 30 and above, right? I mean, look, it's great to grab a 64, an illegal tender, but then again, to be honest with you, let's understand it's going to be very expensive when you get to that part, right?
Right.
So instead of me trying to go for the 64s and the 58 sometimes, I'll take a 30. I'll
Mm-hmm.
take a 30, I'll take a 35. And I know a lot of people may say to themselves about the notes on the back, right? Um, not
Yeah.
everything, not
Comments,
everything,
known as
right?
comments
Common,
or whatever you want to call them. Yeah.
um, repair, corner repair, or sometimes you don't even see it. I will definitely purchase those notes. If it's a great deal and I can knock somebody over the head for a great deal, you damn right I'm going to grab that note. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yep.
I have a 20. It is a $1 legal tender. It's the 1869. The eye appeal of this note is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's a great 20. I'm like saying to myself, wow, the eye appeal of this note is gorgeous looking.
We're going to move on because this is a different video for me where I'm integrating interview and videos about national banknotes, particularly third charter later on. But it's me, so I gotta get some history in here. So we're gonna watch a brief video talking about the quick review. I promise it'll be quick. I do promise, and I probably say that in the video because it's already done. All right, so here we go. First charter period has become known as the original series, where almost all notes were printed with the original, smaller Treasury Department red seal with rays and blue serial numbers. The second series of the first charter period was the series of 1875 that kept the same design but had the large block charter numbers as well as a red series 1875 overprint. A new larger scallop treasury seal was used and the serial numbers changed to red. All the reverses depicted beautiful, detailed vignettes of historic moments of U.S. history, if you count Columbus discovering North America, which I don't because he thought he was in India. The second charter period is the famous brownback, so we'll start with the reverse. This was the first series of banknotes 100% designed, engraved, and printed by the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, the BEP. The first issue of the second charter has the bold brown borders surrounding the large center blue teal bank charter number, which makes for a stunning back. On the left is a variation of the individual state seal and a small vignette eagle protecting the U.S. shield on the right. The new five-front design has the first portrait on any national banknote of recently assassinated President James A. Garfield. A larger and more ornate bank title block is used that has a myriad of different designs on fonts that were used for many, many, many $5 brownbacks. Also new is the brown treasury seal, a variation that only seems to have been used on the 1882 brownbacks and the second issue of the 1879 $10 refunding certificate. The rest of the denominations have no design changes. It's worth noting that the bank charter number is incorporated into the border 6 times on the front design. That's amazing. The second charter issue is very cleverly named Dateback. The BEP needed to standardize the reverse of the brownback. The most noticeable change is the BEP reverting back to the standard one-color green reverse. The individual state seals on the left have been replaced with a portrait or eagle and a small vignette or an eagle on the right, depending on the denomination. The center now simply states the dates because of a law change, which we're going to talk about later. So now, instead of thousands of engraving plates, the BEP is down to basically one plate for each denomination. The front has the same design as the brownbacks, but now the charter and serial numbers are blue along with a new scallop treasury seal that would be used up until 1929. The third and last type of the second charter period is creatively called the value back, because after 1908 that law I just mentioned earlier was repealed and the BEP was not feeling terribly imaginative and just slapped on the denomination value using the same font as the date back. There were no changes to the design of the face of the note. Alright, let's get back to talking to Big Apple. All right, so that's the history of the first and second charter of the national banknotes. Kind of unique and unusual because they kept on changing. Big Apple. So, talking about collecting, how do you collect? What's your system? And I know you've shared it with you before on the channel, but I love hearing about it. So, what's Big Apple's Rolodex system that you use?
Well, one of the systems is that I like to try to find something off the back of a truck. I do have a system on collecting notes.
I mean, are you going to show me? I want to see it. I want to see the famous book.
I'll pull the book out, which is one of the things here is I collect just like this. So here's when there is a note that I have graded. This is it.
Graded is the key to this book.
The book, basically, I'm collecting one note graded. Try to again 30 and above. If not, depends what type of note it is that I may not be able to get that 30 because of the price difference.
And you put the little thing in your book.
Put the little thing.
Let me see it again. I got to see it. Come on.
Right. I'm writing exactly what it is.
Love it.
New York.
Little old school,
Yeah.
school, but effective.
Yeah. It is because what happens is that when I go to the coin show or I take the book with me.
Yeah.
So instead of me trying to remember what I have, I just open the book and I'm like, oh, I don't need that because I have that already.
So yeah. I mean, in my opinion, you are a type collector plus. And why I say that is that I am a type collector, but for example, I only need one Martha note. And and from what I know of your collection, you need the different backs.
Oh,
But you're not going to get every variation, every
no,
signature. You just want the ornate back and you want the updated back, correct? And
correct.
that's what you're doing.
You, you and I, we've discussed about how many mortgages can I collect when it's just really just the San Francisco, New Orleans, and Philadelphia. All the mortgages should almost be all the same because they
Well,
just
you
have
can have,
years.
you got the 1 year of Denver. Don't leave Denver out. I mean,
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, that's
you
a
know,
little further back.
I'm impressing
Correct.
everybody with my Morgan coin knowledge
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, and don't forget the Carson Cities. That's right.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Peace Dollar's still my favorite.
Yeah.
Um,
But, other than that, I mean, yeah, there is certain, but here in the book, it's a little bit more work with the book.
how
It's a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting. I like it because it's old school. I love that you can take it to the show, and that the red book is your go-to book instead of
100%.
like the U.S. paper money book. Smaller, it can travel easier. How do you keep track electronically? Is there a list
I do keep, I do
spreadsheet?
create an Excel sheet
Yeah,
of each note, the year, the FR number, I also put down basically what I bought the note for.
yeah.
Not who I bought the note from, because I could care less who I bought it from.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So we're gonna get to this, and because you tripped across the third charter national banknotes, and we're gonna get to this in our next little discussion. But of course, you heard about the first charter and the second charter. Now we're gonna take a little bit deeper dive because this is where most of Big Apple's national banknotes, as large size notes, live. So let's hear me ramble on about the third charter and why they exist. Third Charter National banknotes were first issued in 1902 and became the last large size national banknotes to be issued before the currency was reduced in size in 1929. The Act of April 12, 1902 created the Third Charter period, and all the notes bear the series of 1902. Third Charter Nationals are the most numerous and affordable to collect. Three types were issued under the Third Charter period. The first had a red seal and were issued from 1902 to 1908. These notes are the most rare because they were issued by less banks over a shorter time period. The last of the series of 1902 red seals were delivered December 15, 1908. With the exception of the 5 denomination, all the reverses had new designs with the 10 through 100, introducing completely new allegorical figure vignettes. It's pretty impressive. The second type of the third charter is the date back. The design remains the same, but the serial numbers and treasury seal changed to blue and dates were added to the back of the notes. Strangely, the added dates are 1902 to 1908, even though they were issued from 1908 to 1915. I have no idea, no information given. These notes, like the 1882 charter date backs, were issued at the same time, are referred to as emergency money as a result of the Panic of 1907, which led to a severe shortage of circulating paper currency. Funny how coins backed by hard metal for you silver stackers just couldn't do the job. The 60th U.S. Congress passed the Aldrich-Vreeland Act of 1908 that allowed banks to use securities other than U.S. government bonds to obtain short-term increases in their circulations, giving them the ability to purchase and issue more currency. The security clause for all the notes, in this case on the $5 upper left corner, was also changed to reflect these changes. The third type of the third charter series is the blue seal and the very last large-size national banknote to be issued. They were issued from 1915 to 1929 after the Aldrich-Vreeland Act expired. These notes carry another creative numismatic name, the plainback, with no design changes with the exception of the removal of the dates from the back. Notes of this type are the commonest and most plentiful of all of the national banknotes, especially the third charter. Although plentiful, the values bounce up and down depending on the rarity of the bank that issued them, along with the city name that makes them very collectible and great to have as a hometown note. All right, well, now you're up to date on all 3 charters and all 3 types in the third charter. It's kind of a screwed up deal, but that's the BEP and the U.S. Treasury Department. Again, there were reasons, historically speaking, why things changed, and it's reflected in our currency, which is, again, kind of cool. So, anyways, Big Apple. So you're working your system, right? You're working
Right.
your red book, and you're like going along, and next note, next note, next note, like everybody does. So tell me about the next note that really is the foundation for this entire video, by the way.
Okay.
This
Well,
note is it, folks. So pay attention,
so so which is the red seal,
Yeah.
1394 $5 red seal. Um, well, let me just first start out with the reason why that note came in existence. One, that I found it,
Yeah.
but I had someone out in this uh, um, currency community
I don't know who that.
that was like, "Hey, Big Apple, why are you not collecting New York notes?" And I'm like, um, I have no idea. I mean, I'm collecting because I love the way the notes are, but why would you not be collecting it? I'm like, uh, yeah, you're right. And I'm saying to myself, son of a Brooklyn Bridge, this guy got to be the biggest fugazi ever to come up and tell me this. Like, really? Like, after so many other notes, and I'm like, okay, he's right, but I'm like, I'm working backwards now.
Right. Well, and that's what I mean. That son of a Brooklyn Bridge Fugazi might have been me.
Yeah, it was Dan, by the way.
And although that's the first time you've ever called me out on it personally, you're always like, it's some guy.
Yeah, yeah. I just,
Because I mean, it was when you get this note, and he's going to get to this in a little bit, but when he got that note, and I know it was a great note. It has got a great little story to it. And I'm like, well, Big Apple, do you have any other nationals? And he's like, yeah. And it didn't matter if it was large or small size because he's got some other ones, had some other ones, still has other ones. And I'm like, I don't know what they were, but I'm like, why do you have a Philadelphia? I don't know if it was a Philadelphia. And he's like, well, because he was checking the list, and this is what we all do, by the way. So it was like, and I'm a total homer. I'm a Minnesota. I collect Minneapolis and Minnesota notes, Minneapolis Federal Reserve. So yeah, Big Apple got mad at me. He called me dirty names, son of a Brooklyn Bridge, which I never heard before anybody else said that. But anyways, I mean, what
Yeah,
was it did,
that's the New York thing about
but it
me.
makes it. I mean, I think it makes a collection more personal. Obviously, the hometown thing. I know retired Navy Rob just picked up. Is it Pottsville, Pennsylvania?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just picked up a beautiful second national banknote from his hometown, and I get incredibly jealous because my hometown did have a national bank that opened up in 1928 and closed during the stock crash and never issued any in small size nothing. So my hometown, I don't have that, so I'm
Right.
jealous of that. So it's super cool that when people are able to do that. By the way, I'll sidebar here a little bit. I got to talk about Big Apple's group of friends because when he's talking about this, we get on the phone together every once in a while. They let me in onto the Heritage auction, and you talk about convict currency, steals and deals. You talk about Jeff Davis. You talk about Kentucky John. I mean, with the exception of Kentucky John, who's a little slow, just because not that he's slow thinking, he's just from
Hey,
Kentucky. And dude, the guy talks slower than molasses in Minnesota weather. That's all I'm saying.
well, yes, he does that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just a great group of guys, and it's fun. It's fun to have be a part of your community, Big Apple, and I appreciate
Yeah.
it. So thank you.
Thank
Um,
you very much.
So, anyways, back to your. So, tell me about the notes.
So,
You
so
find
I'll tell
this
you.
you find this 1394 note
Yeah,
from the American Exchange National Bank of New York City.
correct. I found it on Stacks and Bowers actually,
Okay.
and it was on eBay, but on Stacks and Bowers on eBay. It
Oh,
was
okay.
the
Okay.
auction. It was and I'm on the phone with currency, himself, and we're out there, and I'm like, hey, I want to pick up this note. What do you think? And it's like, it's make an offer. So, of course, hey, when I gotta make an offer, I'm gonna make an offer, I'm gonna make an offer that nobody can refuse. And I'll tell you, I made an offer and they took it. One, two, three. And it was my first offer, no coming back. They just took it. I was like, oh my God, forget about it. I got this note.
And
And it was the Red Seal, New York, 1394. Now, I wasn't looking at the
yeah,
serial number. I
right.
didn't look in the book. I didn't look. I wasn't. My brain was not. I was like, wow, look at this. I got a New York note. I can now finally get Dan off my back. That I got. I'm picking up New York notes, but not looking at the actual picture in the book.
Yeah, you just see
Looking
the
at-
five and the red seal, and you're
right.
just
I'm
right. It's
I'm
you
just
don't know.
looking at the FR number, directly FR number,
Yeah,
value. What do you think? Because I don't want to get hit over the head. I'm the one who does hitting over the head. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So, bottom line is, it was the one in the book, like 14 numbers away, and I'm like, holy shit!
So I am throwing this picture of it of the book and the bank. A great on the banknote, by the way. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful note. But yeah, I mean, when you showed me that, I'm like, that this is the cause of this entire video,
Yes.
and and
So,
and a way to collect.
and convert currency is like, oh my God, you see it? It's the one in the book. And I'm like, holy, and that was it. And that's where it all started, from that one note.
So okay, so it started with that one note, and so now I've given you the grief about you need to. And and we're talking about nationals, and one of the parts about nationals is that nationals vary greatly in value. If depending on the bank and how many they printed and
Yes.
the names, small towns, strange towns like we got Starbuck, Minnesota, and I can buy a Minneapolis national for $100, but that Starbuck, Minnesota is going to be 500 because of the name. It's just
Right.
the name. So there's pricing, and then you throw grade, and nationals is a weird pool to swim in, and I said, you always got to be careful. But
Correct. That is that is one of the things about the pricing of nationals. They're all over the place.
they're all over the place.
From one state to another state to I mean, they're all over. So I don't think the value of a New York note to one of your state is going to be a totally different ballgame, right?
Right, and it
You
is.
may wind up
Yeah.
paying a lot more than me in a New York note, right? You know,
And
especially,
that was the trigger for me to say to you, I'm like, Apple, one, it's a hometown note. That's super cool.
yeah,
And number two, you're gonna save some money because, or get a better grade,
right.
depending on how you
So,
want to spend that money.
so the
Because
money
it's
that
a
it's
larger town and it's a larger bank that issued more notes. And I pulled out my national bank notebook by Don Kelly and said, wow, this should have, you should be able
yeah,
to find, and you did the same thing, by the way. And that led to the next note, right?
right. Now, I just want to ask you because you've told me to collect in New York and I'll save a lot of the money. Do I now write you a check for all the money that I've been saving?
Yeah, no, no,
Yeah.
no, it's over my shoulder. That Carson City on the shelf will always be
Oh,
payment enough. We're going to see the notes. We obviously you've seen the $5 red seal, which is just a stunner. It's just
right.
gorgeous. And anytime you get that red seal popping off paper like that, man, it's tough not to want one. But me again, I had to dig into this American Exchange National Bank of New York City. I had to find out a little bit more. So I went and Googled, used the Google machine, and I wanted to see what I could dig up on it and what kind of notes they issued and what was out there as far as what's been sold and things like that. So I had a buddy. I want to say thanks, Ken, for uh, giving me some track and price information, which we'll provide in this video coming up here. All right, so now let's go. Let's learn about the American Exchange National Bank of New York. The American Exchange National Bank was chartered in 1865 and was located on the northeast corner of Broadway and Cedar Street in Lower Manhattan in New York City. The 16-story building became somewhat of a landmark when completed in 1901. I was able to find quite a few photos of the bank building, but not a lot of information about the institution itself. It certainly was a major bank in Manhattan, given all the ephemera I was able to find, from stock certificates, checks, and bank cards dating back to 1866. 6 years after the bank was completed, the American Exchange National Bank of New York merged with the Irving National Bank of New York in 1907, and then merged again in 1922 with the Columbia Trust Company, and then in 1926 merged again with the American Exchange Pacific Bank, becoming the American Exchange Pacific National Bank. Banknotes were issued under the new Pacific name. Weird that it was on the Atlantic Ocean, but the bank kept the same charter number 1394, last issuing national banknotes in 1926. The original 1901 building was demolished in 1964. Today, the site is occupied by the 52-story office building 140 Broadway, completed in 1968. The former bank site is right in the heart of the financial district, located 500 feet from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, 1,500 feet from One World Trade Center, and 3,200 feet from the Brooklyn Bridge. During its lifetime, the American Exchange National Bank issued 19 different types and denominations of national currency, totaling more than $86 million worth. The banknotes certainly are not rare, but they're still hard to come by. According to the book National Banknotes by Don Kelly, the American Exchange National Bank, charter number 1394, issued the original series in 5s, 10s, and 20s, along with the scarce 50 and 100s and the extremely rare $500 bill. What's amazing about the 500? They issued 354 of them, and none are known to survive. By the way, the 500 original and 1875 series were only issued by 118 banks in 9 states, and only 4 are known to exist today. The American Exchange National Bank issued the Series 1875 only in 50 and 100s. The 1882 brownbacks were issued in the $5, $10, and $20 denominations. The 1902 series was issued for all 3 charter types, but only the datebacks issued all 5 denominations. The red seals and plainbacks were only issued in 5, 10, and 20s. Keep in mind, like I mentioned before, $86 million were issued, and according to Track and Price, there's only an estimated 535 large size notes to have sold at auction. Believe it or not, this is a very large number for large size national bank notes. Still, it's a small number if you're looking to complete a collection. An interesting footnote that I found during the research of this video was that there were two other banks with the same name. The American Exchange National Bank of Dallas, Texas, charter number 3623, and the American Exchange National Bank of Duluth, Minnesota, charter number 9374, my home state. But now it's time to see Big Apple's charter number 1394 notes. All right, Big Apple, we now know about the bank. We know about the history of the third charter and the rest of the charters. I want to see the note that started this whole painful process of me having to do a video with you. Let's see it. Come on, bring it up.
No, it
There it
is.
is.
There it is. The
There
55
it is.
CQ 1394.
All
Red.
right. And that's the note that started it all. And I'm showing a picture right now as we speak because, yeah, the Big Apple having it is great. But man, you can see that that red just jumped
Yeah.
off the paper. It's an amazing note. All right. So what happened next? I mean, you were looking for more. You're like, okay.
Well,
You
actually,
looking for more, or did you just accidentally find another one?
I actually found it. I actually just came across it just like that.
You didn't search. You weren't looking for 1394s. You just like, oh wow.
I was not even thinking in my mind of collecting the 1394s. I wasn't looking. Remember, Dan, I was only looking for New York notes.
Right.
So it did not make a difference. I said, I want New York notes. And I did have a note, which I will explain to you in a minute.
Mhm.
But the next two notes, which was
what's the next one that you got?
the plain back 1394. It was a $10 note.
Look at that grade.
This note
That's a
was
popper.
not
Wow.
this note was not graded. It was not graded. Actually, it was graded. My apology. It was, and I also picked up the 1394 plain back, $5. And both of these notes were at an auction at Heritage. I'm sorry, at Stacks and Bowers.
Both
My
of them.
apology.
Okay.
In Stacks and Bowers, it was there. Both of them was back to back, and well, they were coming to New York for sure.
But I agree. Again, you didn't start off. You're just like, I'm looking for New York notes, and all of a sudden, wait. I remember you calling me and going,
Yeah,
it's a 1394. It's a sister note to the Red Seal, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you gotta go. You gotta try. You gotta try
yeah.
to get it.
You were telling me that, and it just didn't make a difference. I was going to be fighting tooth and nail. I mean, it was somebody out there was getting clipped because it was coming to me. It was coming to me, definitely for sure. There's no doubt about it. It just didn't make a difference because I already had the Red Seal,
Right.
and I was like, well, wow, this is great. Like, I didn't have a $10 plain back, and it was like a 13. That was like, and I did have a $5 plain back, but I wind up to get rid of that.
Wait, you already had the plain bag.
I had one, and I don't know I forgot what it was, but I don't remember because I wanted up to get rid of it. But I did have.
And Big Apple says get rid of it. He doesn't mean like a body or anything like that. He's just selling it off, trading up, But talk about that. I know it always creeps me out when you're like, I got rid of it. I'm like, I hope he doesn't get rid of me like that.
So I wind up to pick those up. Now, there was another auction coming up in Stacks and Bowers. And then this note popped up. And it was ungraded. It was an ungraded note.
An ungraded 20
plain back. It was ungraded. I said, well, it's coming to me. I said, this doesn't, I mean, and then you have to understand, all these notes, the first one, Red Seal, was bought July 2024.
So this is like every month you're finding one kind of right now. It's like 4 notes in 3 months type deal.
we're not even in the year, and I have the amount of notes that I have.
Well,
So
again, there's a lot of ladies and trucks that are a little lighter,
yeah, I
right?
mean,
Right.
I'm trying to. So the next note,
I
the
think you
next
were
note,
taking pencils from the blind guy too. I mean,
I
honestly.
listen. Now the next note is a little different.
All right.
This note here again, another 1394. This is a date back.
The day back.
And it's a grade 25. I had a date back, New York 733 charter number, New York, the 733 charter number was a grade 35. And I think if it was a 35 EPQ,
It
I got
was. It was.
to downgrade to a 25.
So
Just to
this
keep,
is okay. Let's finish up this conversation first before. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Is that it? Is there any more? You got any more?
well, I do have one more.
Well, let's see it because we're going to
This,
come back to that downgrade. We're coming back.
okay,
Let's
yeah, we're gonna
complete
go back
this.
to the downgrade. Now, this note here, um, I I do search on eBay. I do search, in other places. This next note I did purchase on eBay, which is the actual $20
Wow,
Redfield 1394.
that is a
Hard
popper
note to
too.
get.
Wow.
Very hard note to get.
I mean, just
Um,
folks, a 20 and a red seal, I mean, is probably going to be the end of the line for red
right,
seals for any, but for 90% of all collectors.
right.
But yeah, that's a stunner and a 63. Wow, that's that. Wow, wow.
Yeah.
We're looking at it right now, and it's like you guys are seeing the picture. And so that is, does that give you five? Is that five 1394s?
That is five of them. That's a total of no, I don't know how to count. New York people normally don't know how to count, but there is total of six.
Total six. Total
Total of
six
six, right?
notes. That's yeah. I know math. Math
Yeah,
is
I
hard.
know. It's
Remember, I'm
six
a
of them.
history guy and I'm a storyteller guy, so
Yeah,
I'm not going to add up the years. I'm not going to tell you what the temperature was when the
yeah.
Declaration of Independence was signed. It doesn't matter. All right, so back to taking a step back. So this is where I get the crap from, I get the phone call from Big Apple going, Dan, what do I do? What do I do here? You fugazi, you got, I got this note and I already have it. And I'm just like, and I'm just staring at my phone going, you buy the 1394 and you downgrade and move on. But I
Yeah,
get it. I
yeah.
get it. So,
So I did downgrade from a 35 EPQ to a 25 just to keep the same charter number. And that wasn't a problem. I'm okay with that. It's not a big deal. I wanted them to get rid of the 13 90 of the
730, yeah.
1733 733 charter number. Was able to,
And you wound up selling off, getting rid of
yeah,
so a couple others to so you were really going backwards, and I guess that's another point about this whole journey that Big Apple is still on, is that sometimes you got to go backwards in your collection. Sometimes you might lose a little bit money to make your collection better. And here's the
correct.
story where, and better not just in value, but better it means more to you. Is that collectively those notes together are better than, you have a 1394, 1394, 1394, 733, 1394. It just, and if you can do it, and that's what, again, and we talk about, well,
Right.
a lot of these notes, yes, they are available, and he did find them quickly, but keep in mind, an estimated at auction 535 of the ones that say American Exchange National Bank. The
Right.
1394s, there's another 72 that were selling with the Pacific part when they changed their name. So it's still pretty rare for one person to put together, because this is not new. I mean, I'm not going to say it's unique and people buy from their hometowns, but this is the opportunity that not a lot of us collectors have, and that's what I think is unique. And that you put big boy pants on, you spend some money, but I think the bigger boy pants are, you took a step backwards to go
Right.
forwards in your collection. I I think that's amazing, Big Apple. It's
Yeah.
really
I
cool.
mean, I mean, I'm still collecting cans. I mean, right after this year, I gotta go out and do my route. I gotta go do my route.
I'm pretty sure that if kids still paid with actual money going to school for lunches,
Yeah, I would
they
definitely
wouldn't
be out
have it.
there.
They would not
I
have it.
would definitely go rob a couple of little kids for their lunch money. Hey, give me
You
a lunch money,
you
kid.
totally would. I mean, are you kidding me?
Hey, kid,
Um,
I need
so
currency money.
currency buddy.
I need
So you got six of them. Are you still looking for more?
Yes. As we speak, there are some people on eBay with 1882 brownbacks. There is a guy that I was going back and forth on emails. I mean, we were just tons of emails, and he was selling a $10 date back. It was a 35, and of course, it had a note in the back, which I wasn't concerned about it because I'll buy it if it's a 13.94. I mean, just long as the 13.94 doesn't look like it went through the sewer of New York, I mean, hey, if it's still, but it was a 35, it was already graded PMG, and this guy just wanted so much money. And Dan, I've spoken to you
Well,
several,
so much money. I'm gonna give because I'm showing pictures of the eBay listing or right now.
right?
It was only 496 or $500. And this is where it gets to me. We talk and you're like, we were looking up the price, and at most, this is a $400 note. I mean, we were doing
Right.
heritage sales, eBay sales, the guidebooks, and again, putting everything together, and we're coming up at 400. He's still, oh, it would still be overpaying for that note. I think the real value is about $350 on that note.
Yeah, no, 375.
Yeah, yeah, right.
That I looked at, right?
Yep,
And it wasn't the money factor.
correct.
It was more like, okay, you're just overpricing now. And it's not that I couldn't afford the note. I could
Right.
afford the note. It was only
I mean, we're talking 150 max, not even that much.
I yeah, I so it was nothing expensive. I just didn't want to buy it because I'm like, hey guy,
It was the principle,
you you
principle
you
of
know
it.
you're over the threshold over here.
And you did reach out
I
and,
did.
contacted him through eBay and said, "Hey, buddy,
I
you're
several
smoking a little
times we
crack. You're
were
smoking a little crack here. You're a
smoking
crack
crack. Was
smoker."
I don't know what he was doing. I mean,
Yeah,
this guy was over the moon over here with this note because I was like, we were going back, and then I told him, hey, so then he lowered the price and put a buy it now, and I'm like,
yeah. He lowered it
you know, and
to 499 or 96, whatever it was.
he,
He like
he
lowered
put
it
the note
5%.
now, but it was like just doesn't matter. And recently I just emailed him. I'm like, hey, I know that you still haven't gotten rid of the note because I've been watching you. I got a couple of guys keeping an eye on you, and you have not sold that note. So he says, yeah, I'm thinking about, and I sent you the text that what he sent to me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you haven't really put it up yet, so I don't know. You didn't even tell me what you're planning to put it up for,
Well, is this the guy that said that's what I got into it? I mean, that's.
Yeah, well, he said something. I think he said, I don't do any side deals. And I'm saying to myself,
Oh, I mean, you weren't doing a side deal. You were just saying, "Hey,
yeah, I mean, I'm not,
you still
I'm
would have bought
actually,
it through
uh,
eBay."
yeah, I mean, are you kidding me? What do
Well,
but
I
I
mean,
don't know. The guy
this
was,
is yeah. I mean, and then there's the other one too. I mean, we were talking about, and I'll show a picture of this listing, which was even worse.
oh,
This one was, I mean, that guy was like 30 to 40% more on the date back.
this
What
guy.
so you found an 1882 Brownback on eBay,
Yes,
right?
I did find one, and definitely 100%. This guy must have been on heroin. The other guy was on crack. This guy got to be on heroin. I don't
And
know.
mixed with a cocktail of
Yeah,
fentanyl.
I tell you, because this guy wanted 17.99, and and I don't really like discussing prices, but he wanted, and I'm saying to myself, I don't know, this guy's off the rocket. I'm like, this seems too high. And I'm looking through the book, I'm searching it. I contacted you, you contacted, what was it, Kenneth?
Yeah,
Kenneth?
Ken and both
Yeah,
Ontario
and
Congress.
Ontario, yeah. And we're like, guys, am I wrong? I mean, and
And those guys, by the way, subscribe to Track and Price, where they're seeing
yeah,
all the history and the notes, and we've got
yeah.
books and heritage and
Hey,
stacks, history.
those two guys, I for some reason I heard that those two guys actually sleep with currency under the pillow.
Yeah,
Like
they really well. It's
yeah,
especially Ken. It's National
yeah.
Bank notes, $5. But
I think he sleeps with the Nationals.
yeah, well,
Ontario
but
sleeps.
I mean, right. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was determined that at the most that
Yeah,
again, this is still an overpriced $1,100 was like the top end of this note, and the guy wanted $1,800 for it.
yeah. And mind you, I emailed the guy, never responded.
Yeah,
Put a
crazy.
nice little good email. Hey, I'm interested in the note. I know that this is what you're asking for, but it seems a little bit high. Are you
And
willing to work
and
with,
that and this note was, I mean, I'm showing pictures of it. I mean, it does have good eye appeal, it's nice grade, blah blah blah. But nonetheless, I mean, value is value, and you hear this from people, you hear it from dealers, and eBay. I'm going to go on an eBay rant here a little bit. Is that eBay has gotten out of control as far as these dumbass sellers, and I'm not using the word dealers here because there are fair dealers. I still can find
yeah,
fair
there
prices.
are.
And you just got to pay attention because if it's a fair price and it's buy it now, it's gone. It's gone. But
Right,
these folks, I mean, where on earth? Why is it okay that it's like, well, that's what it costs me, so I'm into it for that much? That's complete bullshit.
right.
Because why should I pay for your mistake of overpaying for a note? You're the dumbass.
Yeah,
And so this is where it's like it's clogging up the eBay pipeline, the ability to collect notes because of stupid people thinking that someone else is going to pay for their mistake. And they're not looking, they don't pay attention to values, they don't care about it. And it was funny that it's tying into these 1394 notes conversation, Big Apple, because you experienced it at a lower level and a higher level.
right, right. And again, and we'll go back to some of those guys on eBay. Some of them I have them in my little savings.
Yeah.
Their prices are really good prices. They're not, and common currency has bought things on eBay and people have bought. So you can get, a good or reasonable. If it's like maybe $20 high, which is okay because eBay fees are high. We got it, but I just think that no, eBay.
So I'm sorry, I'm keeping my mouth shut while you finish. And
Oh,
I
okay.
just didn't achieve that because
Um, I guess I read that show,
yeah,
but
no, I mean a little bit high, right? We get it. We all get it, right?
right,
Especially if we want the note. It's a 1394. I'll pay a little bit more for it, or you will.
right.
Um, but here's, the eBay fees. Okay, I'm going off the deep end now, and I don't care. Give me a
Sidewalk.
break. Give me a break on the eBay fees. I'm sorry, where there is legit dealers out there that have a brick and mortar, they're paying sales tax, property tax, building maintenance, they're shoveling their parking lot, they're paving their this, they've got other bills, they may have employees, and you're gonna frickin' complain about eBay fees where you sit on your ass in your home and the hardest thing you do, and most of you suck at it, is taking a decent picture of the bill. I mean, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry it took you 3 minutes to put up an eBay posting. Wow. I hope you didn't break a nail on your keyboard. Sorry, I'm totally ranting on this because it pisses me off. Don't bitch to me about eBay fees. They are
I'm
what they
sorry, Dan.
are.
Here you go. Here you go, Dan. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
But
Maybe.
I mean, don't you just get frustrated with it? I don't want to hear it anymore. It's just like I don't want to hear dealers at shows going, I don't take credit cards because it's the extra 2%. Well, charge me the 2%. The real reason you're doing it, you son of a bitch, is because you don't want to pay taxes.
Hmm.
And here
Okay.
you got the brick and mortar dealers out there that are paying employees, they're paying property taxes, and you don't think you need to pay sales tax, you son of a bitch.
Somebody's getting clipped tonight.
I,
I have no
I am
idea, but
telling you,
somebody's
I don't
getting
mean to go off on this, but
clipped.
it needs to be said because I'm just
Yeah.
tired of hearing it. And when it's
So,
this bad, and you can go to Stacks and Bowers and you can go to Heritage and pay those premiums, great collections too. And you
yeah,
pay those premiums, and it's still cheaper than eBay, and it is, folks. It is.
it definitely 100% it is. I mean, if you go to Heritage, you go to Stacks and Bowers, and you go, it's sometimes you get better deals than you do on eBay, and
Right.
it's like,
I've proven it with a video. We all know it, and we're
yeah,
all and the drawback of those auctions is that you are competing. You might not get it, right? Is that you might lose out to somebody else. And
right,
the beauty of eBay on Buy It Now, again, that same thing can happen to you on eBay.
right,
The beauty of Buy It Now is that you do get the satisfaction, and you're going to pay a little bit more for that. I think we all know that on Buy It Nows
right.
is that we're going to pay more. And I apologize for offending anybody. Um, and I'm literally defending good eBay dealers. I'm defending brick and
There
mortar
are,
coin
there are
dealers
some
and
good people.
currency dealers, pocket guys who are out there doing the best they can, being fair about their pricing. But these guys that whine about credit card fees and whine about eBay fees, yeah, you need to get out of the business because you guys are the ones that are making this hobby. You're the black mark on the hobby. And if this continues, the next thing you know will be a bunch of philatelists and that's stamp collectors, and that hobby is gone. So, and it's fun to say philatelist every once in a
Okay.
while because it sounds like, you should be in prison with, Mr. Campbell. Anyways, not that he was, but
Okay. Well, that was
anyways,
a
I apologize.
sidebar. That was a huge
That's a rant
sidebar.
sidebar. I'm gonna have to do
That
a whole rant thing.
Yeah, that's just bring
I'm
that
sorry.
together.
I stamped. This is about. It's about Big Apple and his great collection. And by the way, and the good news is this is at the end of the video, so nobody's it's like 30% watching anyways.
Probably so. Nobody's
Because, you
watching
know,
this at the end. All right.
but all right. So Big Apple, anything you've got to add? Because we are going to wrap this up. This has been awesome. I love talking to you.
Yeah. So, basically I am still looking for 1394s. Anyone out there that has one, let me know. I'm just letting you guys know. 1394. Email me bigapplestacker@gmail.com. For sure. I'll get back to you if it's a 1394. Yeah, I am still looking for other notes, and I am still looking for there are other notes that I
Yeah,
enjoy.
you're not just buying these
Yeah,
1394s.
besides the
You
nationals.
just had a couple beauty pickups that I don't think you shared one on a short, but
Yeah.
man, it's a beauty. It's a
Oh
great.
yeah.
It's a
Well, that I mean, I
fabulous.
could always say it's not a big deal. I mean, yeah, yeah, I got
Yeah,
that one. All these notes are beautiful. They are some great notes, and I I'll tell you, when you're collecting nationals with these charter numbers, it is just like the hunt is on. You're searching, and then most of all these notes again. I mean, hands down, anybody that's collecting coins or anything, please tell me at least you have one note. One.
and
That's
it
all you
should
gotta
be a
have.
silver certificate and a gold certificate, just or a
Yeah,
hometown national or a hometown.
yeah. I mean, because I mean they go together, Dan.
Yeah,
You know, the coins and the currency, they do go
and
together.
you still actively collect both.
Yeah, I do, but I'm
You don't collect
more
coins; you collect Morgans.
right. I collect Morgans, but I'm collecting more currency now, and I
Yeah,
think that it's just I'm so much involved with currency. It's just kind of shifting over. I don't know. But I still love my Morgans, my peace dollars,
you got it.
my bullion. I don't. I mean, I
No
don't
more
really.
bullion. Bullion. No.
Not too much
Well,
weight.
Big Apple, I really appreciate you taking the time. I think it's a great story and it's an ongoing story, and look forward to update
Yes.
that's on your channel. And again, if you've seen Big Apple today, his passion, his channel's just fun to watch. It's just fun to tune in and watch, even his boring auctions selling coins. I don't
Yeah.
care. It's if you're not subscribed to Big Apple Stacker, you need to be.
Yeah.
Again, Big Apple, thank you. Again, I am lucky that I have you in my currency world. I'm lucky that I can call you a friend, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, thank you, Dan, for allowing me to pop up here.
No, it's my pleasure.
So,
All right, folks, we'll see you next time on Talking Money.
Right through the very heart of it, New York.